perhaps the most iconic and the the obvious place to begin before we get into probably the meat of it is when you think about Luton Town in the Premiership. I mean, they were there 10 years, but there's only one image. There's only one image that springs to my mind, and I'm sure it's the same for you. And that's David Pleat, isn't it? That's David Pleat running across the pitch at Maine Road. and we say running. It's an extraordinary movement he produces it across there, isn't it?
It really is quite something, isn't it? It's kind of like if you put a firework up a horse and lit it. That's kind of that it creates that kind of imagery for me, because it's kind of it's almost like a Messiah-like wave and gesture, isn't it? But it's the painful heat from behind that makes him kind of hop. It's that it always makes me smile. And you would have thought that his mates would have ripped it out of him for years after that.
It is. It's a semi. It is. The horse thing's actually quite, because there is a semi gallop. There are a couple of minutes where he's kind of galloping, and in those particular moments, he looks a little bit like Sammy Lee from when there's that Sammy Lee and Roy Hodgson picture of the two of them running off the bench that time. And also the sort of the pace with which he makes it to the, because again it feels like it's stopping. It feels like he doesn't quite know where he's going, but he continues it for much longer than you think before in order to get his bear hug from Brian Horton out.
It's a great. Because it's neither a run nor a dance nor a jump, is it? It's kind of it is amazing. Nobody's ever really repeated that, have they? It's and particularly with those brown shoes that he's got on and that suit. He could have gone desperately wrong there, couldn't it? He could have gone face down with those. He would have had no grip on that, and those pitches back in those days weren't helpful for staying on your feet. But it always makes me chuckle. What do they call it? The Jig of Joy, isn't it? Isn't that the iconic phrase for it?